Welcome back to the At Home with Roby show. I'm Ashley Davis along with Trent Haston. We're your hosts. We're still joined, by the way, by Katherine Lambert from the Alzheimer's Association of Western North Carolina. We're glad you're still with us as well. If you're in your car or on your couch, you're always at home with Roby. Visit andrewroby.com today. That's Andrew, ROBY.com. Trent and Katherine, we've talked a lot on the show about the race team that's going to be with us in a second. We've talked about the Alzheimer's Association. And now Dave and Paul from Paul Richards Racing are with us. Paul and Dave, thanks so much for being here, guys.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate the opportunity.
So you guys are doing drag racing, NHRA, and you guys have, along with Mr. Mahoney, who was on the show in the first segment, have been gracious enough to put the Alzheimer's Association logo on that as you travel around the country. Tell us a little bit about your race team, how you got started, and what you guys are doing.
Well, basically, we grew up around racing. Our father did it in the 60s and 70s and was one of the pioneers in the sport. And it's just always been something that I wanted to do. And then Dave started showing some interest about actually driving the thing. And we figured we'd give him a shot at it. And we did his license a couple of years ago, and we've just been creeping up on it ever since.
Brian said that you were second-generation family business. We're Andrew Roby, the Roby family of companies, is a third-generation family business. That's very, very synonymous. So it's glad to see you guys plugging away. I tell everybody every day, it might look a little rosy from the outside, but inside it's the 9th round of a Mike Tyson heavyweight fight, right?
Exactly. And it sure is. It does not come without its troubles and headaches, but if you love what you do, then it's not really working.
Well, I think Mr. Mahoney and my family business have hit it off over the last 8 to 10 years because he sees that we work hard and we're fighters, for better or worse. And when he was telling me we played golf, this is what, 3-4. This is fall of last year.
Back in the fall,
we played golf together, and he started telling me, he's like, man, I got myself into this thing now, but he's like, these kids, he calls you boys, he calls me boy, these boys, my boy, they're so passionate. I mean, I really think they got it. They just got to shave a little bit of time off. They're going to make it. And, I mean, he really believes that you guys are the best, and the reason why I felt that he believes it is because you work so hard and it's such an honest passion. So kudos to you.
So we'll talk about the association and the logo placement with the Alzheimer's Association in a minute. But tell us, I mean, if you watch drag racing, man, it is I don't even know how long it lasts, but it's like the fastest 7 seconds in auto racing, right? Something like that?
It's the fastest 4 seconds.
4 seconds. If it's 7 seconds, you're losing.
Yeah.
By a lot.
But with top school and funny cars, they're traveling at 4 seconds, going 1,000 feet in 4 seconds, and a little over 300 miles per hour.
Goodness
so
gracious.
It's definitely the quickest and fastest sport on the planet.
And Mr. Mahoney was telling us, I mean, there's just a thousandth of a second, right? You're just off by these little tweaks, and from first to fourth, there's just such a small amount of difference.
Yeah, it's incredible the time differentials that separate these cars. I mean, any car can win on any given day. It's pretty tough sport to be in, but like I said before, when you love something, you keep pushing and pushing. And with support of Mr. Mahoney and all his friends and family, we're definitely going to do something with it.
So Dave, how often does Paul tell you to lose a couple pounds? It's like, come on, brother.
Every day.
Have you ran your 10 miles a day, buddy?
No, I've been going to the gym a lot and doing a lot of cardio, but that's a big thing is the weight, and being that most of the drivers are, 5.5 feet and 175 pounds, and I'm 6'2" at 220, so it's all right though. I mean, I do hear it a lot, but
you're I still feel like you're like Dale Jarrett.
Well, if things don't go well, you can whoop up on them after the race.
Exactly. Exactly.
Folks, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the At Home with Roby show. You can visit us today at andrewroby.com, or you can always give us a call at 704-334-5477. And guys, a big part of this association that we have between Mr. Mahoney, you guys, Andrew Roby, and then the Alzheimer's Association is really giving back to the association and giving them some much-needed marketing. And Katherine, you're still with us. We talked in the last segment about how much that means to you guys to help get the word out.
Absolutely. You know, the end of this disease is going to take a village, whether that is at the congressional level with funding to the NIH, whether that is at the local level, letting people know of our services. And this is a very new audience for us, I hope, and it's a very large audience and a very passionate audience. And so the fact that we are, invited to this party makes us very excited.
That's great. And there's some parallels. You talk about the research. I mean, I'm quite sure you can look at, if they can just find one or two small things that could totally change the course of the research on Alzheimer's. Very similar to where if they can just tweak one or two small things and shave a little bit off, they could be winning races.
You're exactly right.
That's the business lesson. Thanks for introducing the flywheel. I mean, you get a little momentum and things start going your way. It's the same thing when you have negative momentum. Let me ask Dave and Paul, who gets the more adrenaline rush? Dave driving or Paul on the sidelines?
I'd have to say me driving, but I can see it in Paul's eyes when he gets excited as he's up there at the starting line as I staged, before we run, and I can see it in his eyes that he's pumped up, I can tell, but I think I've got the luckiest job and the funnest job because after the run, it's crazy, the adrenaline and, how you feel after you hit the gas and then right after the run. It's a wild ride.
Well, I know you guys run a circuit all over the country, but April the 22nd, which is a Friday through Sunday the 24th, you're going to be at ZMAX for the 4 Wide Nationals. I can't wait to go. I got it on my calendar. Mr. Mahoney said you got to come, bring the kids, meet these guys. They're just like you. So I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to hanging and rooting you guys on.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to having everybody there.
So you'll be in Charlotte in a couple of weeks. That's great. We'll get out there. You can see the logo. If you're in Charlotte, go out, check it out. I know you guys have some materials, some things. Hopefully maybe we can get you out there, Katherine, or somebody from the team. If people are impacted, they can get some more information about the Alzheimer's Association. But you're running 10 races across the country, so you guys are all over the place, right?
Yes, sir. We're going to stay mainly on the East Coast for now, and then toward the end of the season, we might venture out into the West Coast and continue spreading the word for the Alzheimer's Association.
That is awesome. So, how much of it is the equipment? And I'll ask this of Paul. How much of it is the equipment, and how much of it is the driver?
Well, honestly, it can be a 50-50 situation at times because we could have the best parts and pieces, the best setup, and somebody can be better than you with their setup. So then it comes down to a driver's race.
Right.
But then, and vice versa, you can win and lose with a driver. But bottom line is, you win and lose as a team. So
absolutely.
But believe me, once we get a little bit faster, like we've discussed earlier in the program, I'm really going to be hard on Dave.
So let's get some information out right now, real quick. First you, and then we'll go back to the Alzheimer's Association. How can people find out more about you guys as drivers, as a team, and what you're doing?
Well, you can visit PaulRichardsRacing.com, visit us on Facebook, friend Paul Richards Racing, and then it's just in general in sport, you can check out NHRA.com. There's tons of information. Any inquiries for sponsorship and whatnot can all be found on the website. And just general demographics, just FYI for everybody, NHRA has a fantastic website, and you can really learn a lot.
That's great information. And Katherine, one more time, let's remind everybody how they can either find out more about how to get involved or if they need help, where they can go to.
Absolutely. We have a 24-hour helpline. That number is 1-800-272-3900, and that is across the entire United States. Though if you call it from a North Carolina extension, you will get us locally. You can also check out our local website at alz.org/North Carolina. You can also find us on Twitter and Facebook.
All right, that's great. Dave and Paul, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, no,
Thanks.
awesome. I look forward to meeting you and rooting you on April 22nd.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for everything you're doing for the Alzheimer's Association.
It's our pleasure.
Catherine, thanks for being here. Really
you.
appreciate everything you're doing as well. All right, folks, you're listening to the At Home with Roby show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.